Welcome back to the Property Show. We'll be back with Q&As, Gurgaon and Noida. But something that's weighing on everybody's mind is the rising home loan rates. The Reserve Bank of India on Friday actually surprised the market with a 25 basis points hike in repo rate. This is the rate at which the RBI lends to commercial banks. And of course, this is being done to tame the inflation. Has RBI signaled a hardening of rates on home loans? It's already happened. From 15 September onwards, we've had a lot of banks sending SMSs to their clients that rates have gone up. And the latest, of course, is SBI, which has also raised rates right ahead of the festive season. Harshvardhan Rungta, CFP of Rungta Securities, joins us to take us through some of the nuances of what you should be doing in these uncertain times. Harsh, thanks very much for joining us. So what do you do right now? I mean, which way do you think the wind is blowing? Most banks seem to have increased rates, but do you think something more is in the pipeline?
Well, Manisha, I'll tell you there are two things essentially that RBI has done in this monetary policy. The first being, of course, the most talked about, the surprised hike in the base rate and the repo rate by 25 basis points. The other thing is they have reduced the MSP. The rate on the MSP to 9.5% from earlier 10.25, and the average daily CRR has been reduced to 95% from an earlier 99%. Now, if you see, there are two elements. One is obviously the cost of borrowing for the banks is going to rise. On the other hand, we've seen that they've given some leeway in the liquidity to the banks. Now, how does this transpire and affect an individual home loan customer? The first thing is, considering these factors, wherein liquidity and the rates, I do not see the pressure in the next, 3 to 4 weeks. However, if inflation and CAD does not improve, the banks will have to push the burden onto the end consumer. So, going further, I think in the immediate future, which is 3 to 4 weeks, I do not see much of an impact. The revision I don't think should happen because these guys have already revised the rates just before the monetary policy. However, going further, it all depends on what the situation, how the economy and other factors put in, and then probably some burden may be passed on to the customer.
So if I look at it, Harsh, State Bank of India 10 basis point hike, ICICI, Axis, Yes Bank, HSBC have all gone up by 25 to 50 basis point, and you're saying next 4 weeks is going to be the test of actually which way the rates are going to go. But tell me, I mean, where are the indicative rates settling for home loans above 50 lakhs? Is it 10.5%? Is that what the consumer should take as something given, or is it a little less or more?
Well, we know that SBI charges about, after the revision and upward revision by 10 basis points, the loans above 30 lakhs are currently being levied a charge of 10.10%. On the private sector leading banks, ICICI, for instance, charges in the range of 10.6% to 11.25. Now, there is one element that you need to understand, that there is a differential rate charged to a person who has a good CIBIL record. So that's one of the areas. If you maintain a good credit score, you may land up getting a preferential rate, but that would be on the lower end of the range which the bank provides. Now, with respect to other customers, yes, an interest rate in the range of say 10.5% to about 11.25 or 11.5% seems to be the norm in the coming for the new loans that people take now. Okay. Incidentally, all the revisions that have happened are effective only to new customers and have still not been levied onto the existing customers. So fresh borrowers, yes, in the range of about 10.25 to 11.25 will be a broader range to expect your loans to be sanctioned in the coming days.
But Harsh, that's a huge range. I mean, we are talking about 10.5 to 11.25. That's a 0.75, 75 basis point. It could make a huge difference to what you would end up paying over the tenure of your loan. So how does one actually negotiate, or does one really go with the lowest rate in the market today? Why would you want to go with anybody offering you 11.25 if you had a 10.5 offer?
Absolutely right. Now, the element to look into this is that, the range which is given by a particular bank, if you look at ICICI Bank, for instance, is offering a loan to above 50 lakh, above 30 lakhs for about 10.65 to 11.25. Now, does not mean that every applicant would get the loan at 10.65, or does not even mean that every applicant will get 11.25. As I said, it depends largely on the relationship that you have with the bank, the credit score that you have with CIBIL, and your otherwise an individual profile. Now, answering the query, why would a person obviously not take, it's logical that nobody would apply for a loan, and if he's getting a loan at about say 10.5, there is no reason for him to go for 11.25. So yes, you have to go bargain hunting, you have to negotiate with the bank, you have to put forward your case and your credibility and the ability to pay the loan, and then you can negotiate a preferential rate.
Okay, fair enough. So now one important question that everybody grapples with, especially if you hear the RBI governor who says, inflation is at the top of his mind, even though he doesn't want to do much to dampen the economic growth. Do you think this is a time when you might want to go in for a fixed rate rather than a floating rate? Fixed rates also come with extra charges.
Absolutely right, Manisha. I'll tell you, in terms of, in financial planning terms, in strictly speaking, we advocate that you fix and freeze all your liabilities so that at least you know what amount you have to pay every month and for what period you have to pay. Now, this we've seen an era where there were teaser loans at about 8%. So many people had borrowed keeping in mind the current the EMIs which were levied as per 8%, and we've seen those loans revised to about over 11% today. So the entire cash flow of that particular individual has been disrupted. Now, imagine if this person was in the year of the teaser loans, he had been offered a loan at 11%. I am sure that he would have taken a loan within the capabilities of being capable to pay in that particular month. Now, so this is one disadvantage of going for a floater rate interest, wherein you do not know what exactly is going to be your cash flow, and you tend to borrow over your borrowing limits, whatever is your capacity to repay. However, on the other end, we have fixed rate loans which are higher by about 150 to 300 basis points. The second justification or rather a disregard to the fixed rate is that we are in a growing economy. The interest rates sooner or later will have to ease out, because you cannot have an economic growth at such high interest rates. Now, if these two arguments are supposed to be in place, then obviously one is not inclined towards taking a floating rate loan. Yeah. So the trade-off.
We are peaking on the interest rate cycle. I don't think the government or even RBI has too much room to go up from here, isn't it?
Absolutely, and we've been talking about this interest rate softening since the last 2 to 3 years, and nothing has happened, and we still are in a growing economy. So I support that argument that you make, that there is little headroom for the RBI and the government to ease out interest rates. However, saying considering that, it will be too much of a risk to even say that you should go for a fixed interest rate loan, because if the assumptions are supposed to be coming into action, which means the interest rates will soften in the coming days, then the differential rate will be even bigger. We are saying currently it is in the range of 150 to 300 basis points. If the interest rates were to soften, then the differential amount will be much large, and the loans amount typically being 50 lakhs to 1 crore, in absolute terms also the amounts will be large. Okay. So basically, whether you take a fixed loan or a floating rate would definitely depend only on what is the otherwise profile of the investor, whether he understands what he's doing, or if he's taking a floating rate, I would suggest keep a margin. If you're capable to pay about 50,000 rupees a month, take a loan not for 50 lakhs but for 30 lakhs. So in case the interest rates do not soften or rather go up, you have that margin to absorb the differential rate.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say that with the economic uncertainty and the job uncertainty, that room or the comfort that you need to keep on your EMI is quite important. So my last final question before I wrap out, Harsh, is that when the rates go up, so a lot of my viewers are facing that right now. They've got their SMSs saying that the rates have gone up, and this has happened from 14 September onwards. Should they actually increase the EMI if they can pay, or should they increase the tenure? Because if you do the calculations, if you increase the tenure, your end of the cycle liability on interest is quite high. So ideally, push up your EMI if you can.
Absolutely. The first choice, if you can, you should definitely increase the quantum of the EMI that you pay every month rather than the tenure. However, if you are in a situation where you cannot increase the EMI because the period extends your productive years, if you're going to retire at the age of 58 and the loan exceeds 58, you cannot choose that option. of extending your EMI period. So you have to increase the EMI amount per month. Otherwise, if you cannot do that because your present cash flows do not permit you to do that, then there is no choice but to ask the bank to increase the tenure of the loan. So first preference, yes, increase the amount that you pay every month. If not possible, then you have to take the other option, which is increase the tenure. One option that additionally that you have, and if possible again, make a part prepayment of the loan out of some other source of income or some other savings that you have. Evaluate the options, whether that investment is, if it's just made for a regular wealth creation purpose, you may want to liquidate that and part repay your loan. So at least the tenure and the EMI amount both remain the same.
Right. Harshvardhan, I don't know why I'm slipping on your name. It's not complicated. In fact, a wonderful name. Thanks very much for joining in, and thank you for your crystal clear views on the home loan situation in the country.